Felt saw. One, I'll get it this time, I thought, as I leaped over the redhead with clenched fists. I kicked off the wall and jumped towards the ceiling where I grabbed onto the hanging lights and swung forward like a pendulum. And as I had intended, the moment my feet hit the carpet, I was able to accelerate. Yes, gotcha this time. Serves ya Jaya. During my escape's parting shot, I was caught by the neck and my legs were left kicking the air. UJ, I cried, as my nape was squeezed and I dangled like a cat. Lady Felt, it is not proper for a girl to say UJ. That's so. UJ, UJ, UGA. Hearing that, I repeated it as harassment towards the guy I should have been able to leave behind. Continuing to hold me like a cat by its scruff, he stared at the ceiling. Still, in just a few days you were able to leave my side once. That's quite an accomplishment. Don't pretend ta praise me ta brag about it. And I'm not a stray cat, let me go. Well then, may we consider today as my win again. While I was thrashing my legs about, Reinhard directed a smile at me. Fuck, I spat, as I threw all my feelings of anger, worthlessness, and other various emotions towards his smile. 10 days had passed since I was confined by that bastard, Reinhard. Feel free to try if you think you can escape from me, he had proposed, as if to mock me after trapping me. Regrettably, for the past 10 days, all of my dozen or so escape plans have failed. I was still unable to get out of this abduction situation. It was as if he had eyes across the entire mansion, immediately appearing wherever I tried to flee. With that said, I should use this time while he's not here to escape. Here, Lady Felt. It's such a waste for you to ruin your cute face by being miffed all the time. A plate of sweets was offered towards the dissatisfied me, and my stomach rumbled as I smelled its fragrance. Seeing my instinct to touch my abdomen, the old lady that provided the sweets smiled. She was called Nanny by Reinhard and is the wife of the couple that works at the mansion. Her work seems to involve stuff like cooking and cleaning. She looked to be over 60 and was someone had trouble dealing with, albeit in a different sense from that of Reinhard. It might be because she was always smiling, which made me feel uncomfortable, as if I was being cursed at. Today's snacks are baked confectionaries. Lady Felt, would these fit your taste? As I looked back and forth between the confectionery and the old lady, her already wrinkled face creased further as she encouraged me to try it. I guess I gotta do it. I picked up a piping hot confectionery and stuffed it in my mouth. Its sweetness quickly enveloped my mouth. I couldn't stop myself from smiling. Even though I was unwillingly captured into this mansion, and I hated their pretty clothes and soft beds, their food was just something else. You couldn't compare it to that of the slums. Is it no good after all? Ta bring Granny along when I escape. Foo-foo, it makes me happy to be invited, but if I were to leave, Gramps would starve to death. Though young master can handle everything on his own. Guess it was no good. I pouted after being rejected by Granny. By the way, Gramps, Granny's husband, is an extremely reticent worker. That's how I saw it when he took care of the garden, went shopping, and such. After all, I found it difficult to even talk when I went shopping with him before. Besides, even if I snuck out Ta escape, I'll be found no matter where I go, and then Ma tired body would be dragged back to the mansion by Ma legs. It's not good to trouble your two elders. Sigh. My, oh my, how troubling. Well, Granny, you also don't hold back punishments each time I run away. Even without Reinhard here, I still couldn't leave because Granny and Gramps were in the way. Their movements made it clear they were no ordinary elders. Perhaps it was because they were acquainted with Reinhard, or perhaps everyone with connections to nobles were like this. In that case, it's money. By the way, I haven't seen Reinhard around. He ain't here. Indeed, young master is at the royal castle because of some matters he must take care of. However, he should be returning shortly. I understand Lady Felt is feeling lonely, but please bear with it as Granny shall accompany you. I ain't feeling lonely. I'm done eating, so I'm leaving. I licked the cream stuck on my hands as I got up from my seat. To be honest, I wanted to lick the plate as well, but the last time I did that, Granny got so furious it felt like the world was about to end. I have to tidy up and clean the residence, hence I cannot attend to you, so please be careful not to do something dangerous. I don't know what young master would do after all. I'm not a kid, you don't have to worry. Thanks for the food. Swinging my arms, I left the dining room to leisurely walk about the mansion. With that said, because I was here for 10 days, I had explored most of the mansion. Basically, the doors to the outside were locked, and since I had jumped out of the windows on the first day, the windows were modified to no longer open. At worst, I could break the windows to escape, but the moment I tried that, 3 people rushed over and caught me. Even so, I'll definitely get out of here. It's true that it wouldn't be bad to wallow in such comfort, but there was a reason I had to go back no matter what. Grandpa Rome, wonder if he's doing all right? That was the name of my only family member, whom I had left behind in the slums. 10 days ago, because of a blunder I made, he got involved and ended up getting hurt. I was captured by Reinhard soon after, so I wasn't able to confirm Grandpa Rome's safety. It's not a wound he would die from, but if asked about, it wasn't something even he could avoid answering easily. That's why I have to go back no matter what, but what can I do to escape? As I finished my thought, I halted. At the end of the hallway I was walking down was a door that led to a room. This room was usually closed to prevent anyone from entering, right? The door had a large, rugged bell on it, and I clearly remember being warned about not entering it. Right now, there was no key on it, but twisting the doorknob easily opened it. I checked my surroundings to confirm there was no one nearby before slipping into the room. The air was chilly, and my initial thoughts were that it was a dimly lit room. Even though it was daytime, the windows were blocked by thick curtains, preventing any sunlight from coming in. The interior was quite dreary, with nothing that stood out aside from the bed at the center. A candlestick lay beside the bed, with its faint light providing the only illumination in this room. What? How boring! I honestly thought they would be hiding some treasure or something. Initially finding the room to be a letdown, I noticed something that left me speechless. It was so shocking, I thought my heart was going to explode. On the bed laid a sleeping woman. It wasn't the fact that a woman was sleeping there that startled me, but rather the fact that she didn't breathe like someone who was asleep. I didn't get that impression from her. Even after confirming it with my eyes, it didn't seem like that was the case. What is this? I couldn't feel the presence of a living person from her even as I moved closer. You would think that would mean she was a corpse or a doll, but that was not the case. Her cheeks and lips indicated that her blood was still flowing, and if you looked closely, her chest did rise and fall from breathing. Although she was alive, there were no signs of her life. I can't understand. In fact, who is she? Don't tell me that bastard Reinhard imprisoned other women as well. That is a terrible misunderstanding. I cannot help but say your assessment was very unexpected. Jaya, hearing a voice from behind made me lose my wits. I screamed and leaped across the other side of the bed with my hands. I glanced at the entrance, and there stood Reinhard. He was leaning against the door and had a rare, troubled look on his face as he pushed aside his forelock. It seems I had slackened just a bit. I have made an oversight, it seems. This isn't like ya. By the way, mind letting loose who she is? If you keep quiet, I'll see you as criminal who abducts a bunch of women. She is my mother. Reinhard readily replied towards my question. His answer only made me respond with what? As I looked at the woman on the bed. She had long, golden hair and was beautiful enough to make your eyes pop. At most, she seemed to be 20 years old. I would have believed it if Reinhard said it was his older sister instead. He sure sucks at lying. In my mind, you're a criminal who abducts people and lies about it. I don't blame you for finding this hard to believe, but my mother, Luana Astria, suffers from the sleeping beauty sickness, and her appearance remains unchanged as she remains asleep. It's already been 17 years. Hearing him say 17 years made my jaws drop. If that was true, then she has been sleeping before I, who was 14, was even born. No, wait. Reinhard, how old are ya? I will be 19 this year. I only have memories of my mother up until I was 2 years old. He shrugged with a wry smile as he talked about his mother. For some reason, his matter-of-fact reaction rubbed me the wrong way, and I pursed my lips. So ya locked your sick mom in the corner of the mansion and left her there to sleep, did ya? Those words are quite hurtful. Sadly, the cause of this sickness is unknown. At the very least, should a treatment be discovered, we will act to ensure she will recuperate at a separate residence in the capital. Don't say something like this so matter-of-factly. His response was something he must have said enough times to forget what it even means. It was like a prepared answer, and it irritated me even more. This is family you're talking about. Even though you're not doing anything, you dare talk big about it, Tommy. You piss me off. But facts remain facts. Lady Felt's words are justified, but I believe we should leave it at that for now. Huh, that's so? If I talked with this bigot anymore, I felt I would go crazy from anger. Reinhard's mother really didn't wake up, even after those loud voices. Her face was into my memories through the corner of my eyes, and I got off the bed to leave the room. Lady Felt! However, Reinhard grabbed my arm and stopped me. I looked back at him with a face that said I would bite him, but he didn't seem to mind as he said, I would appreciate it if you do not disclose to anyone else about my mother's situation. I also want you to never enter this room again. Also, I am grateful for your concerns earlier. For a moment, my mind went blank at his words. Once I understood what he meant, blood rushed to my head in anger as I realized just how utterly disgusting this bastard is. He knew just why I was angry and the reason behind what made me angry. Reinhard, you're a seriously disgusting guy. Pulling back the arm that was gripped, I dashed out the room. Behind me, Reinhard closed and locked the door before walking next to me. I was annoyed enough that I didn't have to look to know. He had an unpleasant smile on his face. By the way, Lady Felt, I went to the Imperial Capital's guardhouse this morning. What? It's about the old man that was with you. Apparently, after the uproar the other day, he ran away from the guardhouse during his treatment. I do not know where he went after that. Hearing that, I inadvertently stopped. Reinhard was saying something along the lines of I am very sorry, but I wasn't listening to him. If Grandpa Rome escaped from the guardhouse, that means, for now, it's safe to say he's fine. I would have preferred to secure the person in question before reporting his safety to you, but, you don't need ta. Ma family is not something you need ta concern yourself too much about. Besides, for someone like you can't understand the dirtiness of living in the slums. I poked at Reinhard's chest, and then continued walking happily with a grin. He also showed a bit of relief on his face as he walked alongside me. Suddenly, something came up in my mind about his face. It looks like you really do look like that mother of yours, Reinhard. Really? Immediately after I said that, Reinhard suddenly looked happy. His reaction surprised me a little, and I replied with why yeah while nodding. The shape of your eyes and nose are exactly the same. Putting aside her being your mother, I believe that she's your family. Do you still view me as a criminal who abducts and confines young girls? Multiple kidnappings aside, the fact that you're keeping me trapped here is the truth. But before long, I'll be sure to escape to Grandpa Rome's place. Thinking that, I decided against spitting on the annoying Reinhard. Walking down the corridor, I was drawing up my next plan of action for escaping. Continued in Felt takes to the stage.